So, you're thinking about beauty school for 2026? Awesome. But you need to know the whole game has changed. Seriously, because of some new federal laws, picking a school isn't just about finding the right vibe anymore. It's a massive financial decision, one that could really shape your whole career.
And that brings us to the big question on everyone's mind. Is beauty school even a good investment these days? With tuition costs going up and up, you have to be absolutely sure you're going to get a good return on that investment. The stakes are higher than they've ever been.
Okay, let's just start with some pretty stark numbers. If you look at the national data, only about a quarter of all beauty school students actually finish on time. Yeah, you heard that right. That number is shockingly low, and it means for most people, the journey is a lot longer and way more expensive than what they signed up for.
So all of this really points to one thing, one unavoidable fact. This is a high-stakes decision. Let's really dig into what that means, because we are talking about a major financial commitment that comes with some very real risks you need to know about. So you might be wondering, why did the federal government even get involved? Well, here's the core issue. Way too many programs were leaving students totally buried in debt. And get this, their earnings weren't even higher than someone with just a high school diploma. That's the exact problem these new rules were created to solve.
And that brings us to the government's response, which we're going to call the new federal rulebook. Now, you should think of these new regulations as a set of really powerful tools that are designed to give you, the student, the transparency you need to make a smart choice.
At the very heart of this new rulebook is something called the Earnings Premium Test. The name sounds kind of fancy, but the idea is actually super simple. The government now literally measures if a program's graduates make more money than a typical high school grad. It's the ultimate accountability check. No, don't let the formula on the screen freak you out. It's way simpler than it looks. All it's doing is asking, do the grads from this program make more money than a high school grad? If the answer is no, or if they make less, the program fails the test. It's a really clear black and white way to see if the education actually delivers on its promise.
And this leads us to one of the best new tools you have at your disposal. When you fill out your FAFSA, now there's a financial health warning sign built right in. It's called the Lower Earnings Indicator, and its whole job is to stop you from making a bad investment with your time and money.
So, what does this look like in the real world? Well, let's take a look. Based on the most recent data we have, a lot of the big, well-known national chains, we're talking Paul Mitchell, Empire Beauty School, and others, have actually been flagged for lower earnings. This isn't just an opinion. This is what the federal government's own data is saying about what their graduates are earning.
Now, beyond the risk of debt, there's another huge one you need to be aware of. Schools just shutting down out of nowhere. And this isn't a new thing. We saw it happen on a massive scale back in 2016, and that trend has just kept going year after year. Students get left holding the bag, with debt but no degree. It just shows you how unstable parts of this industry can be.
Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about how you actually pay for school. We're calling this section Your Financial Aid Reimagined because it is changing, big time. The government has totally overhauled the federal aid system, and it has a direct impact on how much money you can borrow.
Just take a look at these new loan limits. The old way of doing things, where parents could borrow the entire cost of tuition through Parent Plus loans, that's over. Now there's a $20,000 a year cap and a $65,000 total limit per student. These rules are way stricter, and they're meant to prevent families from getting into a mountain of debt for a degree that might not pay off.
So with all these changes happening, the industry is really starting to split into two completely different directions. You've got your traditional, debt-heavy schools, and then you've got this new, rising alternative, debt-free models. Let's break down what each of those looks like.
And honestly, the philosophies behind them are like night and day. The traditional model often leans on federal loans, which can lead to higher tuition because they have all these compliance costs. They also sometimes have a padded curriculum with extra stuff. On the flip side, the debt-free models say no thanks to federal loans. This lets them slash their overhead, which means lower tuition, and they can focus laser-like on just the hours you need to get your state license.
The difference in what you'll actually pay is just staggering. Look at this case study. A debt-free school like Louisville Beauty Academy has a net cost of around $6,200. Compare that to traditional schools charging $16 grand, even up to $25 grand for tuition, plus thousands more for kits. And because there are no loans, you pay zero in interest.
So what's the bottom line here? When you add it all up, tuition, fees, all those supplies, and the interest on your loans, the traditional path can easily set you back more than $27,000. That is a massive hole to dig yourself out of right at the start of your career. And that's where the debt-free model offers what some people are calling the double scoop benefit. Scoop 1, you save a huge chunk of money right away, like $10,000 to $12,000 in tuition. And Scoop 2,
You get into the workforce 3 to 6 months sooner. That means you start earning a salary while other people are still in school, still paying tuition.
Okay, we've gone through the problems and the brand new landscape, so now let's make this really practical. It's time to arm you with your Smart Student Checklist so you can navigate this whole new world.
Think of this as your 6-point battle plan. Number 1, the FSA check. Look at your FSA summary for any of those lower earnings red flags. 2, use the government's free college scorecard website to check the school's debt-to-earnings ratio. 3, don't be shy. Ask for the school's on-time graduation rate and see how it compares to that low national average. 4, get an itemized, written breakdown of every single cost. No surprises. 5, ask them how your hours are protected and if they can be transferred. And finally, number 6, check if the school is on a federal watch list called heightened cash monitoring. That is a huge red flag for financial trouble.
So let's just end on this one really important question. Your education. It's the very first business investment you're going to make in yourself. Will it be an asset that helps you grow or a liability that holds you back? The good news is you now have the tools to make sure that investment pays off for the rest of your life. The choice is yours.